indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless you.
I'm sorry, I'm behind my schedule. I apologize.
Did you not get those? Are they out the very last time? Yes.
We'll start out with the department reports. Chief Ferguson's here. You had several things going on. You want to catch everybody up?
I think I had quite a bit of it on the paper. I'll have it in front of me. I can run off with. To add to that though, tomorrow, Rhonda and myself are actually going to Carrollton, Ohio to pick up a cruiser that we had won on Gov Deals. So now we'll have a third cruiser for our third officer, so we all have something to drive. Not having to share.
Awesome. Just to clarify that this is the one we talked about getting used when we have problems with the other vehicles. We've got 2 part-time officers now. We've got one going to the academy. We're still going to get the new vehicle that we got a grant for, but this, I don't know, we were looking, we lucked out, to be honest with you. Maggie and all the whole crew, the auction ended at 7 o'clock at night, and they sniped somebody from Houston, Texas, so they sniped them on there and got it for a pretty good reasonable amount. Matter of fact, they bought it for just about what the light package and the cage package cost, and this was already set up with all of it. And 2018 Charger, just like what we got out back. So it's they got a good deal on it, did a good job with it.
We put a radio in it and changed the decal and ready to roll.
Then you might want to catch them up on dates and times for Hollowfield too.
Oh, they're off the top of my head. He starts May 12th, will be his first day as an official employee. June 9th, he starts the academy, the online portion of the academy, which is a 5-week process. And then July 21st will be his first in-person day at the academy. And that day he'll do his POPs, which is the physical, and then his first written exam, which will be over the 5 weeks online portion that he went through while he was here.
Once
His
he gets on-
graduation date is November 10th, maybe?
Yeah, it was early November.
Yeah, it was in November. So he'll be there basically from July to November, and then he'll be out, ready to go.
2 part-time officers are working between 12, 16 hours a week, something like that, so it's beneficial to us as well. So we've got a pretty good thing going for our size city, I think, right now. Maybe we can keep that going and not have competition issues for a while. Everybody else is, maybe we won't. Thank you, Chief. Anything else?
What's the age of the guys you got? What was the age of it?
Can't ask that question.
Oh, for real?
I'm not allowed to. You can.
You get higher based on age.
Yeah, that's right.
I guess my guess would be.
He's a little older than I am. I'm
Yeah, my
38.
guess would be early 40s, mid 40s, something like
Something
that.
like that. I didn't.
He's been in corrections and then he's also been in police work too, so he's been in both.
You can do part 10 push-ups, part.
Well, he passed the test. We went ahead and pre-tested him just so we'd be sure, you know.
All right. As long as you do 10 push-ups, we're all right.
I might have a hard time with that today. Any other questions for the chief on his report? Code enforcement. Boy, I hate to put you on the spot, Elizabeth, but I guess I will.
Okay.
The property on Short Maple, we talked about moving forward on that. I think with Ed, and I think he talked with you a little bit about that maybe. That's one, the burnout house over there
Right.
on Maple Street, and we already have a lien on it, I think.
I think the lien was the one the most recent one we did was the Main Street one.
All right, I think.
Maple's had a lien on it for a while.
We've had one on
We did that
for a
several
little
months
while.
Actually, lien, not just the findings of fact.
Oh.
Now, you did say you put me on the spot. I don't remember this stuff off the top of my head. You may be right. I don't recall that, but I can look into it, and find out for sure if we did actually file a lien. I know, the most recent one we did was the Main Street property, but
So,
if you recall it, then you're probably right.
We did. I think I'm right.
Well, I mean, I guess what I would say is if you follow up with me this week and we can look and see where we are on it and see what the next step might be.
so we don't need any action from the council right at this moment on that one then, all right?
I don't think so. I mean, I think we need to kind of
See where
put
we're at.
our ducks in a row, and then if we need the council to vote on something as far as that would be an expenditure, then we can discuss it.
And the one on Main Street, I think we're still hoping that the bank has some influence in that, maybe, and, if not, we'll have to move.
That one, there were notices and citations that had been issued and findings of fact entered by the code board, and then we did file a lien on that one. So that's one where I know there is a bank involved as a priority lien holder, and you know, we could file a foreclosure potentially based on our lien if we wanted to decide to do that to go forward. But I think we're kind of giving that a little bit of time to see if that's going to be necessary.
The next codes meeting's tomorrow. I did find a little bit, on the owner. He owns a business in Hopkinsville, so I was able to go to the Secretary of State's website and see what the business was registered under. And I found a PO box, so that possibly we could send, and could send some stuff to. So that's new information that we hadn't had, I think. Okay. So that's another step that we can try.
We're moving forward on those properties as fast as we can in a slow world. That's it's kind of a slow process, as you might imagine. We don't want to misstep. So we're moving forward.
On this, 134 North Lincoln Street, what is the structural issues?
That is the one, 2 houses down from Miss Gaines. That's the one that had, trees and,
Big tree that fell over?
and then stuff on the front porch all the time, that kind of thing. And then he's also been addressing the one on Walnut for debris in the yard.
Yeah, this says structural issues, so I was wondering what structural issues would be.
At 134. I'll have to ask him. I'm not sure. I think I'm on the right house, maybe I'm wrong.
I think it's one right next to it.
I'll ask him. He'll be here tomorrow. I'll ask him. Anything else on the codes? From the council? Anything else? All right, fire department. I know Jay and them been working on several things. They were out a lot during the flooding episodes and helping people and doing things. I did see the fire hose check guy, what's the name of that company, whatever it is, that checks all the fire hoses. He was down here this month and in the last few weeks checking all the fire hoses. They're got to get them up to date. So they're moving forward with everything. They got their weight room equipment moved. I think they're enjoying that. Firefighters and families. City employees, the council and myself can't go. They can. Anything else on the fire department?
The weight room equipment moved, they got new equipment, I guess.
They have applied for grants for a couple of new treadmills, and I don't know the status of that. I apologize, but Jay and Jim did that jointly somehow. I don't know how that works, but anyway, they're with Firefighters Foundation, is that the right name, Joe?
Usually for exercise equipment, it's, in the state.
The KCPCS.
So whichever agency that was, I know they've applied for grants for a couple of trade deals. They've got about everything else that they really want, except a couple more trade deals.
They've got a few things they don't wanna use, but he said they're still trying to decide what they wanna clean up and what they wanna surplus, so they weren't able to get that to me before I put together the most recent, resolution for surplus, but that'll hopefully be on the next one, they're not sure yet. There are some that maybe needed some light repairs, but they weren't sure, so.
We'll be having another surplus event in the next month or two, something like that, so we'll get it on there then. Anything else on the fire department? Water and sewer, we're working on the preliminary work, I guess I'd call it, dealing with KIA on our larger water line replacement project here on West Main, from basically right out here in front of the grocery, all the way to Richter Avenue, and then north and south Lincoln Street, replacing water lines and service lines on those streets. That's that project you guys voted to move forward with not too long ago. And, but we're working on all the pre-work for that, and trying to make sure that the federal part of those funds that Congressman Guthrie was kind enough to get us filled up. So we'll continue working on that. So that's been in place, and the sewer department been doing. They've had to really work on this drainage stuff, because we've got a lot of excess water, through the plant. But not as much as we used to get, but we still got more and more. But anyway, they survived it real well, and it really only one day really went over our, what do you call that, excess capacity, Wayne, is that the name of it? Not really our capacity, but above that we're allowed, whatever that is. We only went over one day, so I feel like we did pretty good in a flooding event like that, so. And then, they've, finished, except for a little cosmetic stuff over on the Stewart Drive lift station. It got inspected and got done and closed out, and, that closed out our last, part of that large grant for the sewer plant. That was the last of it, so we got that closed out. And I think
The only thing that she needs is the April bank statement for the RV construction account, which, I just can't give her until the end of April. But I think that's the only thing that she needs.
copy one check.
That'll be on that statement, which she's waiting for.
That's it. I think that's it. That was done. So she's already done inspections and everything from USDA, so we're in good shape on that. It's been a good project. We were able to do a lot of extra work with it. So. And that lift station is really working well. It's nice. Is there any other questions on water and sewer? Streets and sidewalks. Streets, we've kind of been holding back a little bit, simply because to do the water line project, we discussed this a little bit, we'll discuss it a lot more in our workshop, but kind of holding back a little bit on that, as far as the money, so that we can have a little more money for South and North Lincoln. And, when we do the water line project, we're gonna tear up some streets, and so we need to kind of reserve a little bit of that for those, but we can discuss that some more, and I'll have some better numbers for you in the workshop, budget workshop.
On the streets, I'd like to mention Ronnie Camera in front of his house. And the house, before you get to his house, the drainage in that particular ditch that comes down.
How much the railroad did?
For some reason, it's not consuming the water that goes in there. And Ronnie says, and then I haven't got down and do it myself, but he said Rex has been in there. He said it's a high place for the water to try to travel up and get into the drain. And when it finally gets in the drain, the drain is stopped up, Ronnie said. I mean, I know that we can't do what the railroad, I mean, I know they got a lot of politics in there. Not we do just a little bit, something maybe, to,
Well, we've cleaned that drain tile out many times, there's nothing in it. There's, the problem is people expect a 12-inch tile to take 12 inches of water. That many cubic feet.
12 inches, about something like that.
This one's about a 12 or 15, I can't remember, but. Now, it could be a tile.
Something like that, or,
No, it's
I mean, I was down-
15-inch tile.
I was down there when it was taking in the water, but it seemed like to me,
What it is, no tile takes more than 60% once it's overwhelmed, because it can't draw air. It only will flow 60% of this capacity. And it's that way everywhere. If you go look at this 48-inch tile under Redwood, when the water gets up to the top of it, you look at the other side, it's flowing out about half full. And that's just the way they do it, you know, it's just the way it is. When we have rains like that, everybody says, well, the tile's plugged up. No, it's not. I mean, we ran a jetter through there and pulled out a few walnuts. You know, that's all we pulled out.
well, if you would.
Walnuts, that's all they pulled out. We ran a jetter through there. They went out there in the pouring rain to do it.
That's great, caught a lot of troubleshooting.
Yeah.
But it does what it's supposed to do.
Now, the grade over on Ronnie's side.
Right.
Yeah. He's talking about, I think, the tile under College Street in the railroad ditch.
Both of them, actually. What
Now, when the ditch gets full,
they
that
think?
tile across from Ronnie there, it ain't gonna flow, because the water in the ditch is above the outlet for that tile, you know. When the railroad ditch gets full, I mean, I live there I've watched it, you know. I live across the street from it, you know, but it's never, that railroad, their properties, both of them, unfortunately, are 2 feet below the railroad ditch. The surface of their properties are 2 feet below the railroad ditch, and there's nowhere to drain that water to. And I understand the irritation with it. I had a cellar on Walnut Street that flooded this time. It never floods, but I had one that flooded this time on Walnut Street. And the blue house I used to live in, you know, but it flooded, got water here over there, but.
Has Ronnie been explained to us like that?
Yeah, but, you know, it's difficult when you don't want to, you know, but sometimes it's just hard to understand something when it's not going to solve your problem. You know, there's not a lot to do about that.
When it floods often, you want answers to it.
That's right, you want answers to it. I mean, they can't really, short of them putting like a giant pump in or something, you know, to pump
But
it
they
out.
had 2 pumps down there pumping out basements and everything, when I was down there.
In 2010,
Door work come down there too, and different people looked at it.
We bumped the neighbors, basement out several times when I was working.
about 15 years ago, when Jay was living there, Jay Hull, I came home from Logan Aluminum, worked from Logan Aluminum, and that basement was flooded at that time. And I spent about 8 hours over there with Jay with my little sump pump and 5-gallon buckets cleaning that basement out. And so I understand it real well. I mean, I've been down in there with him, you know, there's really, why someone hand dug that basement in that lot, I have no idea. Because it's just low, you know what I mean? It's not a good place to raise.
The amount of water that we just got, we're looking to that town.
Yeah,
I mean, that was,
Well, maybe we can't do anything, maybe somebody need to go down and explain to them, you know, way in which you hear tonight. Maybe he needs to hear it that way.
the only thing that I see, Claude, and I've done this once before with the previous state highway engineer, is the tile that goes under where College Street goes over the tracks in front of the school. That tile could be a little bigger, and it might help some. But at some point, it's gonna be overwhelmed. You know what I mean? It could be a little bigger, but at some point, it's gonna be overwhelmed.
Water comes from the school, goes down, right?
Yeah. See, that tile on the other side, on Hill Street side, that
It's
tile
stopped
there,
It's stopped at 2 inches.
well, it flows into that same tile or underneath the tracks, and it comes out the other side.
They're convinced that inside that drain, it's like this.
That's right.
It's not straight.
Right, that's cause it's running over underneath the tracks, and it ties in with that tile on my side of the tracks. See what I'm saying? It will get that much quicker.
There's 2 or 3 houses right there were convinced that that's, maybe somebody needs to go down and explain to them. I mean, I said that would have been, and Rex come down and do a lot with a shovel.
I've tried, but I think the only thing I could do, maybe is get one of the engineers from McGee when they're up there to take a look at it. We put an extra drain, I don't know if you looked at it, but right in front of their house when we did the sidewalk project. We put an extra drain right there, see, put an extra drain and ran it over to the railroad ditch. Just to help them with their problem. But the problem is when the railroad ditch gets full of water, that drain is no longer doesn't function either. So when the railroad ditch fills up, nothing's gonna drain to it, it's backing up everything. So that's the big issue there. And then, of course, we built the sidewalk up to keep water from running into their property. However, when those drains don't function, they stop functioning, then the water's gotta go somewhere, right? So it goes there. I could try and get the engineer to explain it to them. I think they might
Well, maybe
want to hear it.
somebody here maybe can come go down and Jeff and give them.
And I understand the frustration.
I've tried to explain it to them, Chloe.
Okay.
And I went down several times myself and then sent around guys too, to make sure
All right.
nothing was clogged and when the water was running through it, it just wasn't
Running
being
fast.
taken all.
Right.
Yeah, cause it's got a retention on that pipe. You want so much water to flow through it.
If it's only what 12 inches, you said.
I think it's about 12 inches.
I think that was a 12 or 15. I can't go.
I just want them to feel like we are looking at it and feel what they feel.
Yeah.
I mean, because it flooded 3 times the basin when I was down
No, it's
I mean, I know
flooded. It's flooded since Randall Hull lived there. I helped him pump it out. I mean, it's flooded for 30-something years,
there. They pumped all day.
I mean, I'd like to get off streets and sidewalk, but, we're still here, so.
Okay.
I've got concern about the cross intersection up here at Casey's. I don't know if is that part of the Auburn city limits. I know it's a state highway that runs through there.
You talk about, now, that is the state highway.
But is Auburn still kind of in the area when you're crossing?
When you turn off of the state highway, like you're going into Casey's, that's our street, that's a city street.
I'm concerned when you're crossing when you're leaving, crossing 68.
You're talking about the intersection of 136.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's all state, that's all.
State highway, but it's in the city limits.
Yeah. I didn't know if there was a way you might be able to reach out to the state because there's a lot of collisions that happen there. I don't know why. It was before the light, and after the light, I don't know what's going on. I think people are running the yellow light and people are catching the green light, and it's just.
Well, the last rig that I worked there was a tractor trailer turning into the city. And those turning lanes aren't offset like the big intersections in Russellville.
Right.
And she said, but when she started turning, there was no cars coming, but one shot out behind that tractor trailer. So the way they're setting, the turning lanes are way over here, so if you got a line of cars there, you can't really see. That's why they offsetted those in Russellville, around the bypass, was to get you over where you could see the oncoming traffic.
I can talk to the District 3 highway engineer about it. We discussed that intersection a lot, like putting rumble strips out there to wake people up. Mostly what's happening is they just run the line. They don't realize the lights there.
Some of them do, some of them do.
Sometimes.
I think if we can get them to talking about offsetting those turn lanes, maybe get that discussion started.
Yeah, we do that.
Because I hear sirens out there all the time, and I call Jeff, and he's like, I'm working the wreck out here. I'm like, again? So,
Then we can extend that yellow light 2 or 3 seconds more, Mike. Tell somebody, talk to somebody.
Well, the city has no control of
Yeah,
it.
that's up to the state.
that's what I'm saying.
But
We're
look,
at the stadium here.
I think what he's asking is if we get, as a council, and ask Mike to talk to the Department of Transportation and see what we can do to maybe get those offset or get that conversation started. And then, because we can't do anything out there.
Isn't that where we lost those 3 teachers from Auburn School too?
Well, it's Chandler School.
Chandler's.
Yeah, they were coming back from Chandler's and 3 teachers and another person. I can't remember.
I mean, that won't help the cell phone thing, but it will help the line of sight thing.
I'll talk to him about that.
That's 4 wrecks there in a week.
Yeah.
Last month.
Yeah, bad.
It's pretty bad, and it is distracting most of the time, you know, I hate to say it. All right, anything else on streets and sidewalks before we move on?
One more thing,
All right.
sidewalk, a week ago, as of 3 days ago, I was coming back from my boys and the radar sign down here is still,
This one?
still not catching us.
We're gonna move it, well, it catches me most of the time, but it missed me 2 nights ago. So I see what y'all are saying now, it missed me that time. But-
It's just that one right now.
So there's 2 poles up before you get to the creek, there's a pole out there, right there, that's pretty close to the road. I think as you're coming around that little bend, you know what I mean, I think you'd be able to see it real well. And it's only a short move up further. We were trying to stay further back so that people would see it before they actually got up downtown, you know. But I think that was still far enough back that we can still see it when we get downtown.
Middle street sidewalks.
Yeah. But I hadn't talked to James about it, but we're gonna try and move that up a couple of poles, and I'll show you. It's one right before you get to the creek from where it is.
Blind spot or something.
The benches on the sidewalk,
Yeah,
they're gorgeous, and I've got all kinds of compliments on them.
we'll get the other 4 out this week. There's 4 more we'll get out. We're trying to talk to the business owners first to make sure, you know, that they have a little input about it. There's only certain places they really need to go, you know, but we wanna make sure people have input.
You can thank Heather now, we picked that.
She did. They did.
It's a long
They
time.
brought it into me and then told me I didn't have any taste.
You are. We said it a little nicer than that.
Yeah. All right, anything else on streets and sidewalks?
Weed killing, we started that today.
What's
So
that?
weed, spraying weed,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that will be,
Spraying right of ways.
I'll be up on the right of ways and all pretty soon on those.
Planted flowers too. Don't they got all of them done, but they got most of them anyway. We'll get that in good shape by the end of the week. And our flower pots, you know?
I've noticed that.
They always look beautiful during the year, you know, they really dress downtown up. All right, that brings us to the park. I'll try and go over the high spots where the youth league is reestablished, doing well. We're gonna have their first practice tonight. First practice and kind of get together tonight. And, we have been working before the flood. We had been in pretty good shape, but we've had to delay things a little bit, but we've been putting all new water lines in because we had some running under fields and everything else. Well, we ran new water lines around the roadway so that we can access them and repair them and do different things to our concession stands and bathrooms and hydrants and different things and the camper sites as well. But they're gonna get back on that again tomorrow. The guys are, they've got it on their schedule to work next couple of days. Trying to finish that out, get it all back filled, looking good. The next thing is, we've had these 2 floods in the last month, really. But the first one, we were already gonna put some new mulch in the playground, but this constituted a lot more. You know, it wasn't just a little bit, it was gonna be a lot. So the first flood that happened like a month ago, 4 inches, 4.5 inches, it washed out quite a bit more. This last one washed out even more. So we've got a tractor trailer load of mulch that'll be here Wednesday afternoon and get that mulch in good. And if we need more, we'll get more. But it washed it out pretty good this time. It washed out pretty bad. But
Better have to keep that water out there, some type of, I don't know.
that creek,
All the same for that.
it just all
Why does
floods.
water come in though, it's,
It just all floods. It comes in, not a lot we can do about it. We try to drain around the ditches, but then it builds up so fast and then gets out over all the surface, that ball field, everything's on the water this time. It's bad. But, so we'll get there. It's, we've got the cross ties around it, which under a normal condition, keep it from, washing out so bad. This was not a normal condition. It's bad. Let's see, mulch, that, Football League, Sky Soccer starting up. I need to ask the council, I got quotes and prices, but I didn't print them out. So if you'll bear with me on the shades for the football field bleachers, I got prices on those again. They've gone up in the last 2 years since I priced them before. What I told you I thought they'd cost, they've gone up quite a bit. The 14 by 20, 12 feet tall, of course, you got a little bit of labor. We'll have to hire some concrete labor to put pedestals in and different things, to anchor them to. But I think the shades themselves were $7,200 each. And then I estimated what it was gonna cost, to get the pedestals poured and get all that stuff done. I just added another $1,000. So that's about $8,500 each. And you guys authorized $6,000 in addition. I told you I only have $6,000 left in the operating that would be fine. But if you wouldn't mind, I'd like for you to redo that vote that you made and just authorize like 16.5 or something like that to go toward these two shades, if you would. Before we were talking about 12,500, 13,000, something like that, but it's a little bit more than that now. And I didn't want to. I've got them ready to pull the trigger on. I just didn't want to do it until I made sure the council was on board.
It costs me a little permanent, like it's only a little bit goes there.
It probably would be maybe similar cost, maybe, but it'd be more structured. You know what I mean? I don't know. Of course, you got metal in too. I don't know that it would be as cool, but I can look into that.
Are you talking about a pole bond like structure?
It's just like lean-to.
Yeah.
Just keep shade on.
That would work better than that material.
Well, the
You're
materials,
gonna invest some money in it.
the material's warranted for 10 years. Of course, that steel structure will last longer than we will, and it'll be there forever.
Me personally, I would
I'd get a price on
like to check into that before.
it.
Good idea too.
Figure out what color we want.
What about the baseball bleachers? Is it gonna go in there?
I'm sorry, Dave.
On the baseball bleachers?
Yeah, we got a new set of bleachers down there now, where we tore those old ones down. We got a new set of aluminum bleachers down there. And, that way we can move them when we need to, and when we decide what we're gonna do with that area, if we're gonna renovate it or do something different, then we don't have a permanent structure there to worry about. But that's the reason, like on the football field area, that we use for soccer as well. That's the reason I wouldn't worry about it, because that football field's gonna stay there anyway. In any of our plans, that football field would stay where it's at anyway, so we could put anything permanent over there we like, and be
I
good.
think that might be a little bit better. Cost efficiency thing. Because what you're looking at is not movable anyway, correct?
That's correct. You got 4 knee pedestals. Now you can move it easy, but you just have 4 knee pedestals. All right, I'll get us a price on that for next meeting. We can pull the trigger on that. Okay, that sound good? All right. Anything else on the park? Anyone like to know?
What about the swings?
David Dillon has started to work on his list. I'm not sure where that's at on his list, but he's starting to work on it. He's putting up the pipe racks at the sewer plant right now. And then that's the next thing I think on his list. I would. He's getting to work on it now.
As far as the park, I was cruising around today, it's kind of rainy, but, are there any plans to do any painting out there? Making things dry a little bit?
Yeah,
Beautify a little bit?
Yeah, the pavilion building, we want to try and get it first. And then the youth league wants to paint some of the dugouts too as well. They're the worst buildings right now, but the other buildings are not too bad shape. Still got a bunch of that blue epoxy paint, really good paint.
Bunch of it.
Are you gonna sandblast it first and then paint it?
We have pressure washed it, and then we put new block down on it, pavilion as well, where it was torn up. And, the block that comes up so high, you know, and then we're pressing all the old paint off of it, and so we can put a good primer on it before it goes on this time. It had so many coats of old paint with no primer under it. We're trying to get it all shot off there and get it done.
And I thought some of that was gonna be left for, if he might have murals and stuff put on it, or designs, and then epoxy paint is poured for that.
Well, on those little short walls you're talking about?
Or you put arbor or something on it.
Oh, yeah. We'll do something. Yeah. You sand on it a little
Epoxy paint on it.
bit. Well, we don't have to.
Something to discuss before you throw that paint on there.
Yeah.
But it is durable though.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. It's put on correctly, it lasts pretty much forever, you know. Anything else on the park? All right, brings us to tourism. Bobby, you catch us up on tourism, please?
We had the adult egg hunt this past weekend, and it was a great success. Everybody seemed to have a good time. I didn't have any complaints. It was a great thing. The weather turned out really good. The Auburn Nursing Home this Saturday is having a children's egg hunt at 1 o'clock. They're also doing a 5K, I believe it's at 9. When they just share their post, but you can go on their Facebook page too, under Auburn Healthcare. And our next event will be next month. I believe it's going to be the frog hopping contest on the 31st of May. We are moving the Bluegrass Festival to September 19th and 20th, the third weekend of September. James has got to get off of band's foot and work on that, him and Lauren. And let's see, what else? Oh, the Senior Center, I'll go ahead and announce it. They're going to do Derby Day, the 30th of this month. So it's for 50 and up. It's on a Wednesday. And we're going to do finger food potluck. So for 50 and up, just make some finger foods, bring it. We're going to have prizes. They're going to have derby races. And there's going to be cash prizes. So we'll dress up for derby, kind of have some fun. It's going to be very interesting. They're going to have your own little stick horses to ride. It's going to be a fun day. But as of right now, that's all we got. You know, we'll kick off our concert series here in town in June. And we're ready to get this summer started. Ready for some warm weather. But I want to thank everybody and all the sponsors that helped us with the egg hunt. Again, we can't do any of that without our sponsors and the community backing and supporters, because that's our big fundraiser. You know, that pays for all the free stuff that the families and kids get to do throughout the year that tourism puts on. So thank you for everybody that donated and came out and supported it. And all the volunteers, we appreciate it.
All right, anyone got any questions for Arthur? All right. Brings us to economic development. The only thing I know of on that is the property that we're in the process of we're waiting right now for the survey. There was thought it prudent to wait. It wasn't that big a hurry to go ahead and we're going to have a survey anyway. So just go ahead and get a survey before we close it out, just to make sure there's no surprises. And so we're waiting on the survey, and I think Elizabeth's ready to get it closed out pretty much after that. Right?
Yeah, we had already gotten pretty close to that and just communicated with the seller that we wanted to go through that process first, and there's no issue with that, so.
Hopefully we'll get that done pretty quick. Anyone else have any questions on that or anything else to do with the economic development? Senior Center, there's a report in here. It's all positive, there's a lot of things going on down there. Sarah, as usual, done a lot of activities, different things. We're maybe changing up some key things. Sarah's seeing more activity some days than others because of the events maybe. So we're talking about maybe changing a few things up the way she's bouncing some ideas around anyway that I think will be positive. And the building's in good shape, as far as I know, everything's in good order. Anyone else have anything on the senior center?
She put in her report that they have pickleball equipment and disc golf equipment that you can borrow there at the senior center, so that's, I think, something important for people to know. You don't have to have your own disc golf stuff, you can visit them at the senior center and borrow some.
You just need to go while they're open.
Right. I didn't know that till I just. Because people have called and asked, do you guys have equipment for rent, or do you have to bring your own? And I always said they needed to bring their own, so.
Well, I knew she had this golf equipment because I asked her to get it, but I didn't know what the pickleball equipment was.
Okay.
That's good.
That's good to know.
And on Wednesdays, there always be, potluck and bingo, with the video. So they
That's
go
her
potluck
biggest
and
day.
bingo, Yeah.
We're looking at maybe expanding that in some way. I don't know, maybe 2 days a week. I'm not sure, but they don't want to do the potluck. Everybody don't want to cook 2 days a week, but we may do some type of a service, bring in soups, a couple of soups, something like that, and have bingo again, 2 days a week.
She does have a Facebook page, and it's ASC Senior Albany page. Sometimes somehow we got two Facebook pages. I don't know how, I don't know. When we started, it didn't do right, so she started another one, but it's ASC Senior Albany page. And then I have all the activities that she has, like they do a drums alive class, they got exercise class on certain days, they do Bible studies. They were on, like Good Morning America, they did a video and they put on Good Morning America one day, so they were excited about that.
Yeah, to get up at 6 a.m. and see it.
I missed that.
Anyone else have anything on the senior center? That brings us to the cemetery. Lord Doleworth's here tonight if you got any questions. But it's in good shape. I think Aaron's ready to start getting mowing here pretty quick.
He'll be there this week. I called him today.
He'll be there this week to make it look good for Easter. And Laura's done a good job. They've been working on mapping. She and Nick Hines have been working on the mapping. And I think they're doing a good job on that, getting that caught up. So hopefully, it's a long-term process. It's nothing short-term about it, but hopefully in the next 6 months or so, we'll have a pretty good mapping base, GIS mapping base. So at least something to work from besides cardboard boxes.
He has an AutoCAD membership through his student license through Western while he's in his internship. So they've been able to make a ton of progress using AutoCAD. It's just a lot more user-friendly than like Microsoft Word, which is what we've been trying to do it in the past, or Excel. You can just do a lot more with it. And we're trying to use his free student license as much as we possibly can.
And if you see a pink flag or a stake out there, please don't move it, at least right now.
That's part of the process.
Yeah, that's part of the process.
And he's actually getting some benefit out of that too. We're doing his internship for his schooling, so it's kind of a benefit for us, benefit for him, so.
Any other questions on the cemetery? Council? All right, that brings us to the minutes of the March 10th, 2025 regular meeting. If everyone's had time to take a look at those, we'll entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
I did have to make one small correction. I totally blanked that Heather was not here last month, and so I put her on the attendance roll up there, so I'll make that small change before I file them, but that was the only change. I don't know, she's always here.
So, subject to that change, we'll accept the motion to accept the minutes.
I make a motion to be accepted.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All right, roll call please, Ms.
Claude Jacobs?
Yes.
Peggy Thomas?
Yes.
Travis Fuller,
Yes.
Jeff Gregory,
Yes.
Rhonda Sullivan.
Yes.
All right. Motion passes. It's time for the financial report. Ms. Hines.
Alrighty, so for March, I will start with revenues. Month to date, we brought in $149,443.44. Year to date, $2,134,647.60, making 104.9% of our budget so far. Citywide month to date revenues, we brought in $157,482.87. Year to date, $3,138,857.83, bringing us to 142.42% of our budget. On water sewer, month to date in March, we brought in $130,183.89. Year to date, $1,239,554.12, making 82.35% of our budget. We'll move down to expenses. For the general fund, month to date in March, we spent $138,809.39. Year to date, $2,336,603.64, leaving our budget remaining $220,314.99. Citywide, month to date, $142,713.61. Year to date, $2,359,364.87, leaving our budget remaining $374,403.68. In our water and sewer departments, month to date for March, we spent $118,453.06. Year to date, $1,351,812.64, leaving our budget remaining $396,116.03. At the end of March, our cash balances for our city accounts were a total of $2,986,910.02. Water sewer accounts, $1,397,537.80, for a grand total of $4,384,447.82.
All right. Council, have any questions for Ms. Hines? All right, that brings us to the bills payable. You've had time to look at those. Have entertained a motion to accept the bills payable. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please, Ms. Hines.
Claude Tissell,
Yes, ma'am.
Peggy Thomas,
Yes.
Travis Fuller,
Yes.
Jeff Gregory,
Yes.
Rhonda Sullivan.
Yes.
All right, that brings us to the marijuana ordinance, and I don't think we've had a first reading on this yet, so we'll put it in the packet. And, if you would, I guess we'll do, Miss Elizabeth will read that long.
Yeah, I can go through it. It's not too terribly long. I do think probably, of course, this is just a first reading. I'm not sure if that ordinance number that we've got on here is correct. We talked about this, and the council members, you all passed a resolution to have this put on the ballot. It was put on the ballot in November, and then after that election, we discussed it, and this was drafted, but I don't think it was ever presented for a first reading. So you can update that.
I think it's
Ordinance.
still right. I don't think we passed any ordinances this year. I think this is
Well, that's right, then that's fine. That's kind of surprising. But that's kind of the history as far as why this has come up now. So, first reading of ordinance 2025-01, an ordinance relating to the allowance of cannabis business operations within the city of Auburn, Kentucky. Whereas on April 15, 2024, the Kentucky General Assembly passed 2024 House Bill 829, signed into law by Governor Andy Beshear on April 17, 2024, that amends KRS Chapter 218B, which codifies the statutes governing the Kentucky Medical Cannabis Program. Whereas by resolution passed by the majority vote of the Auburn City Council on July 8, 2024, the council approved of the question of prohibiting cannabis businesses from operating within the city of Auburn, Kentucky, to be submitted to the voters of the city of Auburn. Whereas the result of the question being presented to the voters of the city of Auburn resulted in the majority being in favor of cannabis businesses operating within the city of Auburn, Kentucky. Whereas the city of Auburn hereby wishes to utilize the authority granted to it by KRS 218B130 to allow and additionally regulate cannabis business operations within the city limits of Auburn. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of Auburn, Kentucky as follows. The definitions within KRS 218B010 are hereby adopted as if fully written herein. Cannabis business operations are authorized to be conducted within the city only during the hours between 6 a.m. and midnight prevailing time, Monday. What is the page?
I think the dash, Monday through Saturday.
I know, but my next page doesn't say that, so.
Saturday.
Oh no, but
Can I read on?
Elizabeth? I'm so sorry.
Can I, do you mind if I read one, please? Sunday, except that no operations may be conducted on Christmas. Cannabis business operations may only be conducted on Sundays between the hours of 1 p.m. and midnight prevailing time. No signs referring to the use of cannabis directly or indirectly visible from the outside shall be permitted, except as any such reference may be contained in the name of the business establishment. No flashing lights or neon lamps shall be used to illuminate signs unless approved by the sign committee, and all regulations regarding signs shall apply to cannabis business operations. No person, firm, or corporation shall do any act authorized by this ordinance with respect to medical cannabis business operations unless that person, firm, or corporation holds a license issued from the city of Auburn authorizing such. The following types of medical cannabis business licenses may be issued by the city, and the initial license application fees and license renewal fees for each license shall be as follows. For processor, initial application fee of $1,000, license renewal fee $2,500. Producer license $1,000 application initially, and then renewal $2,500. Dispensary, initial license application $500, license renewal fee $1,000. Safety compliance facility, initial license fee $500, license renewal $1,000. Applications for the issuance or renewal of all licenses provided for in this ordinance shall be made to the city's ABC administrator, who shall be, the individual responsible for issuing any licensing under this ordinance. All applications shall include a complete copy of the application, all supporting documentation submitted for the corresponding state license together with all other information as may be requested by the city of Auburn. All license fees collected under this ordinance shall be paid and collected by the city clerk. No license issued pursuant to this ordinance shall be granted or renewed to any person or entity unless that person or entity first applies for and obtains an occupational license from the city. Any applicant for a license under this ordinance shall present a valid occupational license issued by the city with its application for license under this ordinance. Failure to hold a valid occupational license shall be grounds for denial of a license under this ordinance. Furthermore, if the licensee's occupational license expires and is not immediately renewed at any time during the license period, the license issued for medical cannabis business operations may be subject to revocation or suspension. No license issued pursuant to this ordinance shall be granted or renewed to any person or entity who is delinquent in the payment of any property taxes, both real and personal, and any other taxes due to the city, fees of any type, or charges due to any department of the city at the time of issuing the license, nor may any license be granted or renewed to settle upon any premises or property owned and occupied by the licensee upon which there is any of the above delinquent payments due and owing to the city. Further, if the licensee becomes delinquent in the payment of any of the above at any time during the license period, the license issued for medical cannabis business operations may be subject to revocation or suspension. I guess I have every other page because I don't have
think I printed it two-sided, then I copied yours.
All licenses under this ordinance shall be valid for a period of no more than a year. All licenses shall expire on June 30th of each year. Any license issued under this ordinance is required to be posted and at all times displayed in a conspicuous place in the room or principal room where the medical cannabis business operation is carried on, so that all persons visiting the place may readily see the license. No license provided for hereunder shall be issued, renewed, or transferred to any person, firm, or corporation until the person, firm, or corporation has obtained the issuance, renewal, or transfer of the state license corresponding thereto. The licensed premises covered by the city license must be the same as the licensed premises covered by the corresponding state license. The city license issued to any person, firm, or corporation shall remain valid only so long as the state license corresponding thereto issued to the person, firm, or corporation shall be valid. Any revocation, suspension, non-renewal, or other action which makes the state license null and void shall operate to revoke, suspend, make non-renewable, and therefore make null and void the city license corresponding thereto for the same period of time. Any license issued pursuant to this ordinance may be revoked or suspended if the license violates any provision of this ordinance or any provision of any statute, law, or regulation relating to medical cannabis business operations. No cannabis business operation shall be located within 300 feet of any elementary or secondary school, daycare center, as defined by KRS 199-894. Church, public park, or playground, 300 feet distance shall be measured from the main entrance door of the cannabis business operation location. Any cannabis processor, producer, dispensary, or safety compliance facility within the city of Auburn may only be located in a commercial business zoning district or an industrial zoning district. No cannabis cultivator of any tier shall be permitted within the city of Auburn. Any person, firm, or corporation who directly or indirectly violates the provisions of this ordinance shall be guilty of a misdemeanor for the first offense, be fined not less than 100 nor more than 200, or be imprisoned not more than 6 months, or both. For the second and each subsequent offense violation shall be fined not less than 200 nor more than $500, or imposed for not more than 12 months or both. Imprisoned for not more than 12 months or both. The penalties provided for in this section shall be in addition to the right of the city to revoke or suspend the offender's license. The provisions of this ordinance are severable if any section, clause, or part of the ordinance or application thereof is for any reason found to be unconstitutional, illegal, or invalid. Such unconstitutionality, illegality, or invalidity shall not affect or repeal any of the remaining provisions of the ordinance, that being the legislative intent of this body. All ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith that now in effect to the extent of said conflict are repealed, and that's basically the substantive end, I believe. This ordinance would become effective upon passage and publication according to law.
Wow.
Yeah, that was good. I got tired of this list. That's our first reading, so it doesn't require a vote, but we can have discussion, or y'all can further read it, and then next month we can look at it, and y'all can discuss anything that sticks out to you then. And I'm sure Elizabeth will answer any questions.
I'd be happy to.
Like I said, the state has got a really tight statute on this thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of it regulated through them.
I'm gonna do some studying or ask some questions on this one. Sounds like a good deal though.
Well, I mean, essentially, and we kind of talked about this before, but obviously the council was going to let the citizens decide whether or not to allow it, and now that vote has occurred in favor of allowing it, this would allow the city to have its own regulations in addition to the state regulations. So to regulate where and how these businesses would operate, as well as be able to issue its own licenses, it's very similar to alcoholic beverage licensing, where the state allows it, but then the cities can decide and they can put their own even stricter regulation on that if they so choose.
All right. Be thinking of your questions, and next month we'll bring this up again. And, if you have any questions, like I said, give them answers before the meeting, just let us know.
And if anybody does want to, obviously, council members, feel free to contact me if you want to discuss it more as well, because it has been kind of a
like it. I would actually like to move forward with it. I'd like
we'll have a second reading next time. We'll go back.
I mean, I'm going up now. I'm in a motion right now.
Well, you have to have 2 readings.
Yeah, we got 2 readings?
Yeah.
We got one.
Sorry.
Man.
I like the enthusiasm.
Good.
Yeah, the enthusiasm is good. Yeah. All right.
Legally, you have to have 2 readings.
But I just think it's a good thing, you know?
That brings us to the resolutions. And we have 2025-03 surplus property.
2025-03, resolution authorizing the sale of surplus property in the city of Auburn, whereas on April 14, 2025, the city of Auburn, at its regular meeting, voted in favor of designating certain personal property owned by the city as surplus property, and whereas the city of Auburn owns the following items of personal property. I'll kind of just summarize these: 2 HP LaserJet printers, 2 boxes of black toner, 2 Acer computer monitors, 10 office phones, a lot of party decorations, HP OfficeJet printer, 6 computer keyboards, a lot of computer boards and mice, an adding machine, a camera, 2 desktop computers, 3 routers, a a space heater, 2 other Dell Optiplex computers, 1925, or 9025 OfficeJet Pro printer, HP colored LaserJet printer, 6 boxes of toner cartridges, 8 3-ring binders, a lot of office decor, a box of table paper roll, Dixie chopper, 0-turn mower, 8 rolling lobby chairs, 2 office chairs, a Brother printer, OfficeJet Pro, 8710 printer, a box of toner cartridge, a box of another type of toner cartridge. Whereas pursuant to KRS 82083, the city intends to sell said property. Whereas such property was originally acquired to be utilized for administrative purposes by employees and or citizens of the city of Auburn. Whereas the city believes there's no future public purpose or use for this property because the equipment no longer serves the needs of the city of Auburn due to deterioration or replacement of the above listed equipment. Majority members of the Auburn City Council have found that the sale of said property is in the best interest of the city, promoting the economic interest of the city to liquidate said property as it serves no other useful purpose. Now therefore be it resolved and ordained by the city of Auburn that the above described personal property is declared by the city to be surplus property, and the said property is hereby approved to be posted online on govdeals.net for an online auction pursuant to KRS 82083-4D.
I would like to add something, and the reason I didn't know the doors were gonna be replaced before we did this. I thought it was gonna be after, but we have an assortment of overhead doors that we took down. That some are worn, some are outmoded, some are just torn up, you know, but we have an assortment of the overhead doors, parts and doors from the maintenance shop that I'd like to add to this list, if that's okay by the council.
So if someone wants to make a resolution can't vote on tonight, so if somebody wants to make a motion and include, if you so choose, include the mayor.
If you so choose. If you so choose.
You want to sell them?
Sorry?
You want to sell them?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
I'll make a motion
You know.
And to approve the resolution.
Yes.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. That was a second, all right. Got a motion and a second. Any more discussion on that?
All those prayers are broken, so.
What's all going on?
People buy advertise that.
Roll call.
Todd Tisdale,
Yes.
Peggy Thomas,
Yes.
Travis Fuller,
Yes.
Jeff Gregory,
Yes.
Rodney Sullivan.
Yes.
All right.
I do have a question about that. I agree with you going through it. The surplus, I'm just curious, where does that go in the city funding when we?
Just goes back.
It has
into
its
the-
own revenue line.
Yeah,
So it's got its own revenue on surplus.
We just had a surplus sale. We sold the old 1983 backhoe. We brought pretty good money. And then several other things we sold, you know, last year. But
With the backhoe, we probably made about $10,000.
yeah.
GovDeals.com.
All right. That brings us to the municipal road aid 2025-04 resolution.
This is a resolution adopting and approving the execution of the municipal road aid co-op program contract between the Incorporated City, being Auburn, and the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet Department of Rural and Municipal Aid for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025, as provided in the Kentucky Revised Statutes and accepting all streets referred to therein as city streets, which are a part of the Incorporated City. Be it resolved by the legislative body of this Incorporated City that the legislative body does hereby accept all streets referred to in said contract as being city streets, which are a part of the Incorporated City. The legislative body of the city does hereby ratify and adopt all statements, representations, warranties, covenants, and agreements contained in said contract, and does hereby accept said contract by and such acceptance agrees to all the terms and conditions therein stated. The chief executive officer of the Incorporated City is hereby authorized and directed to sign said contract as set forth on behalf of the legislative body of, and the city clerk of Auburn is hereby authorized and directed to certify thereto.
The rest of you got more.
No, that's all.
That's
It's basically the end of it, so just making
The
sure.
second page is just signatures.
Okay.
Yeah, and they sent it to me in PDF form, so I couldn't edit anything. I can't like put it over at the top. I can't, unless I retype it all, I guess.
You can just write.
There's a second page.
Yeah.
The vote page is all
So you
this
can,
way.
you entertain a motion to approve that.
Does entertain a motion in a second, and then we'll have a discussion if you need it. But it's pretty self-explanatory. It's basically something we opt in or not, and it's an emergency pool of money that's available. Now, will we get it? Will it be first come, first served? Did it get depleted during this flooding? Probably. But in a normal year, if we had a road caving or something like that, that's what that pool is for. And what we do is give up just a small portion of our normal road aid fund to go into that fund, and then we can ask for it. Now, we're not guaranteed to get it, but no one is, but we can ask for it. So I think it is a good thing for what it costs. I think it's worthwhile, but it's not a lot of cost to it. There could be an upside to it someday when we really need it.
I make a motion to accept the resolution.
I'll second.
Well, a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Be happy to answer any questions that I have knowledge about. I think it's a good deal for us. Could be someday.
I'm just kind of curious, what percentage do we have to do that?
Is it 2 or 3%? It's 2 or 3%. It's a very small, percentage of what our normal funding would be. I can find that more exact if you need it, but it's either 2 or 3%, something like that. All good? Ready to vote? Roll call, please.
Paul Tisdale,
Yes, ma'am.
Peggy Thomas,
Yes.
Travis Fuller,
Yes.
Jeff Gregory,
Yes.
Rhonda Sullivan.
Yes.
All right, that brings us to the municipal orders, which there are none. And that brings us to new business from the council.
We did forget to discuss, the senior center deposit.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
that,
That'd be a good time to bring that up. I think there was some discussion on it last time. And, I think there's a need to increase both the deposit and the rental fee a little bit. We don't have to get too excessive, you know what I mean? But I think we do need to bring it up more. It's, we're way behind everyone else out there renting a facility. We don't want to gouge people, but yet we want to be able to recover some of our funds for cost of operation. Because it costs a lot to rent it and wear and tear on the building. You know what I mean? There's just a lot of different things there. So open the floor to suggestions from the council. Y'all have time to think about it?
I feel okay with raising the deposit. I'm not sure how I feel about raising the price just yet, but that's just me, that's my thinking on it.
If y'all rather just do that right now, that's fine.
or just be like 50 each instead of getting like 100 on both.
The deposit, I was okay with 100 on the deposit like Paul brought up, and to the 100 to the deposit, you're gonna get that back.
What I was saying too, if we're gonna talk about it a long time, we need to act on it or leave it alone.
So what I'm hearing is most people are okay with the deposit going from 100 to 200 because they get that back if they leave the building in good condition, correct? Is that what I'm hearing from the council? So now we talk about the pricing structure or not, whichever y'all choose. It's 150 right now to use it. And that's a 24-hour, pretty much 24-hour bill.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap for 24 hours.
The thing is, you get the whole facility. You get the use of the kitchen, the bathrooms, the parking lot. You don't share it with anyone like you do at the extension office. This facility is about the size of 1.5 of their 3 bays. And they rent each bay separately, the kitchen separately. If you rented the kitchen and one of their bays, I think it was $300. We got a pricing schedule from them. I think it was $320. Kitchen in one of their bays, which is about 2/3 the size of our building.
Is there a deposit for that facility or just their own?
Yeah, there's a deposit as well, and I forget, I think it's a couple $100.
So we rarely withhold deposits. It doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen.
When it happens, it's usually bad. you know what I mean? It's gonna cost us a lot more than $100 to get it fixed up.
There's like always that on the lawn.
Yeah, it's happened a little more often than last year, so.
Well, if the deposit, if we're gonna raise the deposit $200, but people get that back, well, I think 250 to rent it would be reasonable, but or 200, you know, but.
And that's what we were talking about last time, man. We're either gonna do something about it, or we're gonna act on it.
We're gonna talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, $500 for me is a lot of money
Yeah.
to rent
Yeah.
something for 24 hours.
That'd be 400, well, it'd be 450, then you get 200 back.
Right.
Yeah.
But you gotta have
You
it
gotta have
up
it up
front
front.
to get it.
To get it.
And you're right, that kind of course, a lot of times it's like 2 or 3 siblings throwing something for a parent or something like that, which they get full resources, but at the same time, you're right, Jeff, I've had to write those checks a few times, and it's painful. And we could raise the deposit like you said, and do a little less over it, whatever you guys want to do, But it is costing more and more for us to wear and tear on the building and keeping it up, it is costing.
Well, does everybody think the rent needs to be raised?
I think I'd like to look at the expense and the revenue of the senior center.
Well, now, the senior center would be a different function.
That's what we're renting out, right?
Well, no, the rental of it is just a community service. It has really nothing to do with the cost of operating the senior center. See what I'm saying? But we try to recover some of our utilities. That was always our goal.
I'd just like to look at some, I don't really have any numbers in front of me before I jump to some kind of conclusion of what I'm voting on.
It's a pretty good little budget. I mean, our utilities, then you got the senior center director's salary, which is senior center activities. But she's involved in this cleanup and all that too, so, it's more about the trouble, really, than anything else, but it's a lot of trouble.
Larger deposit would be incentive to clean up after yourself.
That's why I wanted to go with deposit,
It seems like it'd be nice to keep it affordable for people to come to Auburn and,
Well, it's affordable. That's why they're coming.
and it's a nice center.
Yeah,
I went there one time and had a breakfast one time, it was nice,
it's nice.
nice building.
It's a lot of traffic.
Yeah, I really have a hard deposit and not necessarily take a rental out. I mean, if I'm renting, I'm having to rent it by myself.
Yep.
I don't have anybody that can rent it. Poor people.
I mean, what we could do is go small. If you're gonna raise the deposit 100, you could raise the deposit 75, and you could put 25 on top of the rental fee for now. So it doesn't jack it up.
Right.
You're trying to take care of one problem and make it a little bit. I'd be up for that. I just can't,
I'm good with
if
whatever else.
you're throwing a birthday party or a baby shower,
Budget.
yeah.
Another thing to take into account too, we're talking weekend prices. Weeknights currently are half price.
Yeah.
Same deposit, but half the rental price. So that's another thing you guys would need to
They
decide.
don't get it as long,
They get it
they get it in the
during the
evenings
day.
after the senior center's done, so.
So right now we charge 75 for a weeknight, 150 for a weekend. So that's another price to think about. If you want to leave that the same, or if you're gonna raise the weekend price, if we're gonna half that, or leave it at 75.
I would say it's half that. I know it's an odd number, but
Yeah, but I see what you're saying, so,
half of 1250 more,
yeah,
more for
yeah.
a night rental. You're increasing revenue, but you're not giving somebody sticker shock.
Everything will help. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's costing a lot of money to run that place now.
And then
More.
in 6 or 8 months, if we see we need to go a little higher,
We rarely have weeknight rentals except for Fridays.
So, what's that math come up to, your motion? How do you wanna make that motion?
would it be 175 for a weekend rental
That's the rental fee.
with 175 deposit? You're splitting $100, you're putting $7,500 deposit,
Right,
and you're putting 25 on the ground.
right.
And making them the same, essentially.
Okay.
175 deposit, 175.
And then the weeknight rental fee would go to,
So, yeah, the month's at $12.50 more on the night rental.
$87.50.
just 12.50 more than night rental, and then the same deposit.
And it's only for a whole day, that's only $25 for people, so take care of it, and get their money back.
That's,
I don't think that'll be sticker shock.
we're usually pretty quick about getting those checks back, usually the same week.
Yeah, I've got several of them back in that next week.
Every Friday. Every Friday. If you rent for a weekend, your checks will go out in the mail that next Friday.
So that motion, we'll make sure I got it right. It would go, the rental for the full day rental would go from 150 to 175 for the rental fee. The deposit would go from 100 to 175.
Because that's the real issue we're having right now.
That's right. That's right. And then the rental for the half day would go to
$87.50.
$87.50, and then the deposit would still be 200. 175. 175.
So the deposit's 175 either way. Weekend is 175, weeknight 87.50.
Okay. Is that in the form of a motion?
It is, yes.
That's great. All right. We have a motion on the floor.
I said,
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? I think that's a good resolution. Any further discussion? Roll call, please, Ms. Sines.
Paul Tisdale,
Yes, ma'am.
Maggie Thomas,
yes,
Travis Fuller,
Hey.
Jeff Gregory,
Yes.
Ronnie Sullivan.
yes.
All right. Motion carries. That takes care of any other new business that we need to discuss. I'm sorry?
The budget workshop.
Budget workshop. Thank you for reminding me that. The way our numbers came in, or not numbers, but the way our information from the bank came in this time, plus we had some training events going on. We're struggling for time to make that April 21 deadline for the budget workshop and have the numbers right. I need to bump that out just a little bit if I can. It still stay before the May meeting. You know what I'm saying? Out early May sometime. So if all of y'all would not mind looking at your calendars and try to figure out a day, maybe early May sometime, anytime before the meeting, right? Before that council meeting is fine.
May meeting will be the 12th.
And a little later would be better because it gives us more time to get all our budget numbers together. Half of those numbers are really easy to get together, the other half not.
Can we do the 7th, 8th, or the 9th?
Morning better for you, Jeff? Yes. All right, we have a throw out there of the 7th, 8th, or 9th on the mornings.
They're on the 7th.
Are you gonna be out late at night, Blake?
The executive board retreat.
I didn't know if that was just a tentative or if you were doing that for sure.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know if this was just a tentative or if you were doing that for sure. It's got a board, PLC board thing.
The 8th, yes.
And like,
I'm good at 7th.
7th's good with me.
I'm good. You good at 7th?
what time do we wanna do? We wanna stick with 9?
Are y'all good with the 7th? You good, Claude? All right, y'all decide the time, what's best for you in the morning. I know someone,
I get off at 7 a.m.
you might be working that night before
I
you.
get off at 7
He
a.m.
might show up on Monday or Tuesday morning.
No,
You'll never forget it, will you?
I'm
was
sitting
sitting
here
in
all
the
night,
dark.
I'm right here.
He was just sitting here in the dark.
Don't make it easy on yourself. Wait, you need a little time to eat breakfast, maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock, about 9 o'clock maybe?
9's great.
9 great?
At least I finish late.
What about for y'all, 9 o'clock good, 9 a.m.? What about you, Travis, good?
Now you gonna have some breakfast?
No,
You know,
it's
I'll make sure,
you bring it up,
I'll
breakfast.
try to take care of that. I'll try to take care of that.
Claude's bringing down.
No, Claude's bringing breakfast.
Not only, we'll.
We don't need salami at Diamond.
Cream and donuts.
So you don't need salami at Diamond yet.
What do they have, coffee and donuts?
I can bet, you better work that up.
We'll make the coffee if you bring it down.
All right, budget workshop, the 7th of May at 9 a.m. All good for the council?
Sounds good.
Is there anything else the council would like to bring up before we go to public comments? Good? All right, time for public comments. Anyone from the gallery can speak if you wish to. Brenda?
Well, if you don't know me, I'm Brenda Stamps from Auburn, and I'm a dog owner. And we have a regular group of people, about 6 or 8, with 9 or 10 dogs who meet every day. And that's in the afternoons, the rest of us are in and out through the day. One of our concerns is since the, and we love the sidewalks, by the way. Thank you. And then one of the other problems is because of the construction of the sidewalk, which we do love, we're asking if it's possible to get a little bit of gravel into the front part of the parking area. Because if we really need it, since this last rain season we had, we were swimming to get in the house.
It's actually slated, I'm sorry, but when we do some asphalt work right up front,
It's higher.
it's slated to get asphalt there as well, and they'll build it up before they do it.
Okay.
So it'll drain good. We may have to put a drainage pipe under there first, but we'll get it fixed.
That'd be great because it doesn't strain, so we're gonna make it drain, but it doesn't need it.
We'll get it worked straight and good.
Okay, well, that would be much appreciated. The other thing that we thought about this afternoon, because of all the rain and because of possibility, and I don't know about the mating season of mosquitoes, but I would imagine there may be eggs has been laid on the creek waters and everything that's been around us. And so mosquito spraying for us is a prime target of please try to do that for who's responsible. Because we're there in the midst of the grass, the dampness, whatever. A lot of times we don't leave till maybe 8 o'clock in the summer. And the mosquitoes are hot and heavy during that time. So when you jump ahead on the eggs, jump ahead on the mosquitoes, it would help, well, everybody, that's soccer, everybody. Because it's affecting them as well as us.
We use larvicide eggs. Basically, we treat them early. We use a larvicide that we buy from, what's the name of the company?
Clark.
Yeah, Clark Environmental. We buy larvicide and they're pellets. And then the standing water, of course, is the only place they'll breed. They won't breed in the creek.
Right.
Just standing water anywhere. But so where we have standing water about this time of year, we'll take these pellets and you'll see James tossing them out in that water. But we wait till the water goes down some because it's more effective if it's less than 3 feet deep. Those pellets don't dissipate so bad. But yes, we do treat the water side, and of course we fog ourselves too. So if it gets to be real bad, make a phone call up here. We can spot fog as well. Usually the park will get a couple of times a month. But if we're missing some spots, you let us know.
Yeah, I've seen the spraying out for the summertime all around, and in our area too. But just, right now,
It's
I'm going to use a good time to get it started. And there's always some water somewhere around. Of course, the creek's over there and everything else.
Well, that little drainage area over there, water stands there, except in the summer. It stands over there quite a bit. And James hits that with the water side, but we might hit it more often to make sure we have good pellets in there.
Okay, appreciate it very much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for reminding us of it. Does anyone else have something? How are you, sir?
Hello again. I'm Paul Severance, I live on Runwood Drive. Kind of beating an old issue is the Ringwood River. I mean, obviously with the amount of rain that we had, it was coming down our property really bad. And I don't know, I know that you guys have got a grant for the water diversion in town here. But is there any way you could look into doing something about it that comes underneath Scott Road from the field where the school's proposed to go? Because every time when it rains like the Dickens, I mean, it just right down, it hits a mound like a high spot. It comes around, goes down to 3 properties before mine, through mine, and before I put a little gravel pad for my trailers, it would come right through mine and go through Chrissy West's property. So I put the gravel pad down there and made like a mini diverter, but still with the amount of rain that came down, I mean, it was just up and over. And all it would take is just to get that mound just a little further, just enough to divert it off of my property and the other people's houses and property, because I know they're sitting there going, okay, well, that's nice, I'll just put on my swim fins and scuba gear and just hit the rapids and paddle on down to the, as I call it, the Renwood Senior Center swimming hole down there, because it went over there too. And, you know, I don't know if anything or nothing.
Have you talked to your neighbors about?
Pardon me?
Have you talked about it to your neighbors about?
Not yet, no.
That's probably what's gonna be required, because we don't have an easement back, it's in y'all's backyards, you know?
Right.
We don't have really an easement there, but your neighbors should wanna define, maybe not a ditch, but you know, a trench.
A furrow, just all it would take would just be a
Nice,
little
something
furrow.
nice to mow, you know what I mean, nothing like that.
Yeah, it's like it starts like the people like up there right on Scott Road.
Yeah.
And then it just goes wherever it goes. And whatnot. One other issue. Have you guys heard anything about what's going on with Donald's property next to mine?
I have not heard anything, no.
Because he passed away.
He's what?
He, from what I've heard, I believe he passed away.
Oh, did he?
Because I tried calling him and his phone, it goes to, I'm sorry, but you cannot, the person you're trying to reach is no longer available. Because I talked to one of the postal people, he said, yeah, we got a thing in the mail that said to the estate of, and she said, what kind of official? Because he got out of the hospital with COVID. He wasn't too good before that. And that's why I kind of figured, okay, putting 2 and 2 together. And
I haven't heard anything.
He passed away. He passed away. Excuse me, Mayor. He passed away. I did his funeral.
okay, that's what I thought. Yes, that's what I thought. So I was kind of wondering what, if anything is going to be done.
That wouldn't be anything the city would get involved in.
Right. Okay.
As far as I know, he's current with us on everything, so he's in good shape with us.
Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much about it.
Okay. Sorry I didn't have any more information yet, but if you would talk to your neighbors, I think that's what's gonna be required, is maybe a joint effort between neighbors to put a furrow back there, like you said, just a sloping area. Something's not gonna wash out, you know, something wide, but yet defined, or defined trench, you know. There's gonna be somebody.
My house had the same issue when I was a kid, because I lived right on the back street there, and when you come back, all the people had to share a little bit of property to get that ditch dug out through there, and it's not as bad when everybody pitches in to get it along the way.
Yeah. Because like the one thing I'm worried about is right at near the top of the area, that's going to have to be done quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, I mean, I'm no civil engineer, but you look at it, it's not rocket science to figure out.
Yeah. There's just a defined furrow down through there, nice wide,
just
wash.
a little fine furrow with some, you know, gravel stuff.
Yeah, I think if you get it, you make it wide enough, you can still go with just a grassy area, you know. It wouldn't wash out if it was wide.
Look, there's one on the next street up, with the tracks behind our property. they got like that little furrow that I guess when they were building there, they put it in, but the thing is, it gets very little, whereas like, it's like a raging torrent like it was this last spring, so.
Talk to your neighbors and see what you can come up with.
Yeah.
Anything we can do, we will, but we can't do a lot.
I'll need to win lotto to do that. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything else from the folks, citizens?
I'd just like to say this, Mayor. I recall when we built that senior center, we had discussion, I was on the council, and I voted.
Yeah.
And there's always concern about how if it's gonna get enough use. I think there's a problem with that.
I think we may have oversold that, didn't we?
That's right.
Oversold it. Thank you. Appreciate the input. Does anyone else have anything? All right. That brings us to a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor? Opposed, like sign? We're good. Stand adjourned.